Madam Speaker, I rise today to pay tribute to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Accreditation Board, FLETA, as they celebrate their 20th anniversary on July 1st, 2022.
The FLETA board was established in the early 2000s at the direction of OMB. Essentially, they realized that the federal government was a little bit behind in the accreditation process, especially for law enforcement training. The board consisted of senior executives from across the federal government and also some public members as well. The board has grown in size since the initial board was established and currently resides at 28 members strong. It started actually with hundreds of standards along the way in the beginning. And currently, as we sit here today, program standards are down to 47 manageable standards, and academy standards are 44 manageable standards.
In this century, in industry and in government, independent accreditation of high-impact programs has become the rule, not the exception, and for good reason. In today's world, few things are more visible and sensitive than law enforcement operations. Independent accreditation of the law enforcement training programs that prepare officers to do their jobs is now an expectation of the people and the communities law enforcement serves, including the people and institutions that federal law enforcement protects. Law enforcement organizations that do not independently accredit their law enforcement training programs are at increased risk of having their stakeholders perceive their organizations as out of touch with the people they protect. Accreditation gives confidence to the officers that their official actions are proper and that their organization will defend them when they act within the bounds of their accredited training programs. Accreditation gives the agencies and the communities they serve confidence that the training their officers receive has been carefully structured to be in sync with their mission, their vision, and value.
The FLETA standards address every aspect of a training organization's operations, and they are written to support all federal training organizations despite the size, budget, or organizational structure. Being part of the FLETA community allows the VA and every participating organization input into the development and the revisions of the standards. This helps us ensure that we can meet the laws and regulations that govern our operations while also addressing the federal standard.
There are numerous benefits for a program and academy to be accredited, to include improved and consistent training quality, validation that training programs are developed, delivered, and reviewed by standardized processes, transparency and assurance, building of law enforcement alliances, and increased staff and student confidence and professionalism. The law enforcement agencies FLETC trains have the assurance that no matter how or where they receive FLETC training, it's consistent and has been designed and developed using best practices of law enforcement training to exceed standards and ensure public trust.
We have 52 different training organizations that do span the entire federal government. We have 16 academies accredited and 92 programs accredited.
I know that the FLETA's continual process of internal and external review may seem daunting to some agencies, but in today's environment, I believe it is what makes us better. Being part of FLETA helps us improve our training and how we train.
For an organization who does put in an application and leadership feels like it may be an easy process, I think that word easy might be a bit misleading. It will be a challenging process for that organization to get through because there will be thorough reviews of that organization's policies and evidence and procedures to ensure that they are following the FLETA standards themselves.
I had a few questions I would like to ask you guys about the program. I noticed in section 1.02, they talked about the coordination of a use of a wooded area. I wanted to ask if you could describe the location, the type of training you conducted, and what arrangement do you have with the Sheriff's Office that helps you provide that training?
We have a memo of agreement for use with the Sheriff's Office. They also provide some of our role players.
It's amazing to see the growth from when things started. When I joined in 2008, to where we are today, processes have become more streamlined, standards have become more manageable and attainable. Personnel are excited about accreditation. The FLETA board is more in tune with accreditation and in tune with law enforcement training. Not that they weren't before, but it seems like the board gets smarter and smarter every year, which is exciting to see as well. So again, I'm just very excited about where we have been and just the growth and the maturity that FLETA has gone through over the past 20 years.